Sheltered from the forces of nature by high mountains on three sides and the sea on the other, Isafjordur in Iceland was our port of call on this day of September 9, 2006. Outside, it was windy and cold. The view looked like this was the remote side of the island and the end of the world. This place is known to be very near to Iceland's finest fishing ground. I could see the snow-capped mountain from afar, and I could smell the fresh air as I watched a sailboat slowly gliding past our anchored ship. The tender boats came and went under the rainbow, taking passengers ashore for their scheduled excursions. I would be meeting my tour group ashore on the pier, but we were delayed during our disembarkation for half hour because of the limited amount of shoreside shelter, and so as not to expose us to harsh cold climate out there and standing without any shelter.
So if you schedule for 11:15, 12 or 12:45, we can't ask you to do later to 11:45, quarter after 1.
Upon boarding the tender boat for the afternoon tour, I seemed to be the youngest looking one, except for the crew member. Soon, we were on the Isafjordur shore. When we got off the boat, there was a very long line for those who were ready to get back to the ship from their morning tour. The weather was cold, and it was raining on and off, and it was a shame to see all these people standing by to get to the tender boat to take them back to the ship. The boat was waiting for our group to board for the voyage to the Vigur island. This island was a must-see destination for some of us. It would be a 30-minute ride across the fjord and icy blue waters of the North Atlantic to the island of Vigur. Meanwhile, we kept our cameras ready for any marine life that we may spot breaking the surface of the Atlantic along the way. But for this boat ride, all I saw and heard were the sound of seawater splashing on the sides and windows of the boat, the Icelandic engine noise, the view of the mountains farther away, and the tailside bubbling seawater created by the speeding boat. Inside the boat was warmer, and I could see everyone anticipating to soon arrive at the Vigur island. When we finally saw painted settlement houses, we knew we were getting closer and almost there as the boat slowed down to dock at the pier. I got off fast and waited for the others in the group. It was at the pier that we met our tour guide.
Are you our tour guide?
Yeah, hi. My name is Kitty. Yes, yes. Are you an escort? No.
I don't do that.
Okay.
Just over a mile long and 450 yards wide, it would be hard to get lost on this island. Most of our guided walking tour would be a stroll through the island's grassy landscape.
Yes, good.
And you are not cold?
No.
No. I see you have good clothes.
I will be cold if I stand here much longer.
Our tour guide Kitty, who seems to be excited to see us, started our tour on a windmill, which is the only windmill in the island of Vigur.
So, I would say welcome to the island Vigur. Vigur means spare. And the island is very little. She is about 2 kilometers long and 400 meters when she is biggest. And these are 6 people who live on this island. And they own the island. The island is private. There are 4 generations on this island now, so the same family have lived here 130 years. They are a farmer, they have 13 cows, about 35-40 sheep, and they have lots of birds. They have about 80,000 puffins, and I'm sorry, I asked the puffins wait after you, and they cannot wait. They are going to the Atlantic Ocean now. They are leaving there in the winter time. Normally they come about 15, middle of April, and they leave the island about island or Iceland about 15 to 20 of August. And they live on the ocean in the winter time because they are a good diver birds, and they come back and they know when they are going. It's very beautiful to see them when they are leaving. They are leaving in groups. They fly very low because they have so little wings, and they live in groups. So, okay, we have only one mill in Iceland, and she is here.
Built in 1830s, this is also Iceland's only windmill, and now the last of its kind. It was once used to grind corn until 1970s.
Now we are going to walk.
Many of the structures in Vigur Island were built in the 19th century.
Going with me or not? Are you coming with me?
Yes.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go.
Let's go.
After the windmill visit, we prepared to walk and obediently marched forward like the curious visitors commanded by our guide, and ready to explore the island under not too harsh weather condition. We were all on this together, walking on this grassy land, and heading for the next point of interest.
I need hot soup. I need hot soup.
We walk together.
Finally,
All
we
right.
paused for the next stop.
Then go inside.
At this point, we looked far ahead across the seawater to the side of the mountains and a glacier looming off in the distance.
All the time.
It was too far to
Always
recognize the
know
glacier
because
until our
we
guide
have a
pointed it out.
glacier. And you see, it's very good looking now. We have one glacier in Vestfjord. The name of the glacier is Drangajökull.
The Drangajökull glacier is the country's fifth largest and the only glacier in Iceland to still be growing. We encountered some rain on the island, but this did not bother us much.
62 meters. The island is very flat.
We all thought we were appropriately dressed and came prepared for this weather. No one was complaining because we wanted to be here to see the island and experience whatever else it offered. Under the rain, it was time to learn about the puffin birds.
Okay, puffins can be 10 to 15 years old. He have only one egg. He start to have the eggs about 20 of June. And he grow 2 meters long pool inside. And the little bird stay 1 month in the hole.
Vigur Island is known for its magnificent range of bird life, including puffins, eider ducks, and many more. But on this day, there was silence in the surroundings. We didn't hear any loud growling calls of the puffins or the soft coos of the eider ducks that return to the island to nest each spring. We learned that we missed the birds by about 30 days. At this point, with a nice rainbow before us, we made our first encounter of the island's residents. These were the cows of Vigur, and they instantly became a tour attraction. First we saw the windmill, then the mountains, and now the cows. I couldn't wait to see what's next. It got so windy that someone's umbrella got blown away to where a couple of cows grazed. They took an interest into the umbrella. The event became a sniffing party as the other cows joined and gathered around it. The umbrella had to be let go or risk being attacked by these seemingly unpredictable animals.
Now we go to the ocean.
Follow the leader we did afterwards, and we were told to be mindful of our steps as we walked down the hill.
What are they?
Puffins.
Oh,
But they're not dead.
puffins caves?
That's what
And just show how big the puffin's pool is.
Occasionally, the guide would check and see if there were any puffin birds still hanging out in the small caves and holes along the trails. We saw some holes that were curated or built by puffin birds, but we didn't see any puffin birds in the area. This wasn't our lucky day.
Take very good care when you go down. Look very well. It's wet. The road is wet.
It was slippery and wet going down the hill and following the trail. We may not have expected this, but we had to deal with it. We were like a happy family, and when others fell behind, we stopped and waited for them. At our next stop on this side of the island, we focused our attention to the surrounding mountains.
You see, it's a beautiful landscape around this island. Every people talk about that. Icelandic people love a mountain around the island. It's a beautiful landscape. And I have to tell all the mountains here too. And I will tell you one mountain is this one, because he is so different another mountains.
It's a weird looking mountain, and they have a name for it.
The name of this mountain is Horse. Horse.
Horse.
Horse, yeah. Yeah, horse. Yeah.
It was also interesting to know when the sun doesn't appear for months here, followed by days with more lights in the middle of the year.
I never sleep May and June. It's light, 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 light.
Looking like pilgrims with a mission, we continued to walk in line. It didn't feel like a tour anymore. It was turning out more like an adventure where anything could happen.
Part?
The landscape was beautiful, and some of us took our time taking pictures.
Yes.
Why not? We likely won't be back here anymore. Then we followed the path along the shore. Walking and stepping over the rocks and stones was like playing some musical instruments with the wind blowing in the background. The sound of it was like music to my ears.
Okay, 200 years ago, it was a farmer who was living on this island.
It was now time to know about the eider birds of Vigur Island and how these seasonal visitors were encouraged to come and take up some space to build their nest in.
So he make this special room for eider. The eider is the quality on this island, not the puffins, the eider.
It's unfortunate that we didn't get to see any of them during this visit, but later on, I saw what they look like in some of the literatures given us.
The lady is brown and her husband is white and black. Eider can be 25 to 30 years old. Normally he have 4 to 6 eggs. She starts to have eggs about 10 to 20 of May. She is here 4 weeks. Her husband is with her, stay with her about 10 to 12 days when she have relaxed.
We would have liked to see the birds at close encounter in their natural habitat. This day was not to be the day, but the guide produced the beautiful sounds that they would have made while describing these eider birds.
And it's a beautiful sound in May and June, all around the island.
The rest was left to our own imagination. Vigur is also home to the descendants who settled here over a century ago and make their livelihood much the same way as their ancestors did by farming. In addition to cultivating the land, farmers earned a living gathering and harvesting the down of the eider ducks in the spring. Finally, our tour and adventure ended up at the settlement's 140-year-old Victoria House. This house was built in 1862 and restored by the National Museum of Iceland. It was a relief for all of us when we were soon enjoying the complimentary drinks, hot coffee, and locally baked Icelandic pastries waiting for us. Entertainment was conducted by a local lady who was as beautiful as the music she was playing. In the corner, I caught sight of the stuffed little puffin bird. Then for a few minutes, we took a break outside for fresh air and a chance to take some more pictures around, including the carefully preserved 200-year-old wooden rowboat, the oldest in the country, and which was still being used until the year 2000 to ferry ships to the mainland for summer grazing.
Okay, now you can see. You can see dirty eider down from the earth. Dirty. You see? They start cleaning. They close the island 31 of August, I told you. And they are little bit starting. They have cleaned about 50-20 kilos.
Back inside afterwards, it was time to learn about the eider down, the lining on the eider's nest, plucked from the female bird's breast, which can be made for good insulating material. Our guide showed us how the eider down is cleaned and processed for export after they were harvested. Vigur Island supplies down from the eider duck for commercial use.
They put a heat on this and they make jum 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 like this to kill the flea. Then they take it and put it in the green machine. Before they have to use this, take long time. Yes. Before they have to use this, then they take it from the green machine and put it in the brown machine. And the brown machine is like a pump. What do they call it? Pump. Yeah. And she clean about 92%. Then they take it from the brown machine and put it on the table in the post house. And the ladies, they do it, I know. They start to hand clean. Hand. And then they have finished, they have this. Wonderful. Hand clean.
In the end, it was an interesting island visit, and to see the treeless landscape and its surroundings take on a beauty of its own. When it was finally over, we walked back to the pier to board a boat waiting to take us back to Isafjordur, and later for embarkation back to the ship.